No porn on this computer. What the fuck? That's the proof. Ain't that something? I never watched porn one time on this computer. That's interesting. Like, I'm not ashamed of it. I watch porn on my phone, but that's just funny seeing that. 2021 highlights. So today, I did it last night. I was freaking exhausted last night, and my sister's in the hospital right now, so I was like, just wasn't even feeling good. And yeah, I did the tier list, and I was just like, because I wanted to do it and, you know, get the stream / video done. But I rewatched just like literally like the top 5 minutes, or the first 5 minutes, and I was just like, yeah, I think I'm gonna do it again just because I'm off today. It's my one day off of the week, and my keyboard. It's like, fuck, I got more time. I'm not tired. Got a good night's sleep last night. So before I do the actual tier list, I'm gonna eat, kind of wait, maybe see if I get 1 or 2 or 3 people in here, maybe, and watch a couple highlights. NBA best plays, stock plays. Let's do it. Whilst I eat, and I'm probably gonna turn my mic down as well.
Drives in on Bogey. Oh, Donovan came out of nowhere and slapped that ball. That was a kill shot by way of volleyball language.
Hey, he's gonna be on the list.
Rudy off his hand. Halliburton drives in on Bogey. Oh, Donovan came out of nowhere and slapped that ball. That was a kill shot by way of volleyball language.
Good to have it done to you, but if you can come back and say, take that.
Oh, that's up there.
Wow. Great timing.
It's way off the mark, and Jokic has it. So Minnesota passed. Oh, what a pass! Thread the needle, baby! Nikola Jokic.
To grab it. Watch this pass home. Bounce back, and the defense couldn't even react. I mean, it's right there underneath Naz Reid's legs.
Beauty.
Bob the Foodie down on the baseline filming that action.
So JaMychal Green
saved it. Jeremy Grant to Plumlee.
On the list. Not him, though.
Plumlee with a drive and dunk. How about that? Big time play.
Saban League, give him a lot of credit for allowing for this to happen. He saved the ball from going out of bounds.
By Anthony. 2 seconds left. Anthony for the win.
got it.
Damn.
Cole Anthony gives the Magic a victory. Improbable.
I think he knew it was good when it left his hands.
And what you love is he acts like he's been there before.
Yeah.
I played basketball. Actually,
oh my goodness.
Beyond that into the floor, things have dramatically improved in the second half. And on offense, they've had a steady diet.
He's just a different player later in the game. He has so much confidence as a player, regardless to where his game is, where his shot making is. Nice little stop. Has some of the best breaks in the game, and a big-time 3 for Doncic.
Hopefully there's a long warranty on those brake pads.
His hand opening night. Allen with the catch. Oh, with the throw down over Harris. Woo. My goodness.
It's of action. You want throw highlights? You got them.
Grammarly does more than catch errors. With Grammarly, you can...
With those 9 threes, 4 of them from Wayne Ellington.
Ooh, what a stop at the summit. Joel Embiid on the defensive end.
Taking possession. Here's Plumlee.
Perfect.
Again, you mentioned it. Complete denial. Tries to go, does the right thing, goes up with 2 hands, but Joel gets.
And to pick up the dribble, Curry cut without the ball. Behind the back to Looney to lay it up and in.
That's one for the highlight reel.
Respect play.
Ball, Mr. Lethal. Oubre, good drive. 2 defenders go with him. They don't see man in ball. Always got to know where Steph Curry is. He's always moving. And Mr. in the right place at the right time. Kevon Looney. Yeah, Corey Joseph. You just get caught ball watching just for a second. How about the reaction? Did he go goggle?
Who do they free up?
DeMar DeRozan. Does he get it off?
Nope.
Yeah, it's blocked away. That'll do it.
He doesn't.
It looked like Bledsoe on top of the basketball.
Lonzo did an excellent job of fighting over the top, and now you see DeJounte Murray come running to DeMar DeRozan. So he brought everybody to him.
And it was Eric Bledsoe.
Look at that.
Oh, he's right there.
Catches.
Oh, Westbrook got there because it looked like it was going to be a
Steph Curry.
clean look for LeVert, who had played well.
Home court
their offense is
in that play-in situation.
insane.
They move to 9th. Indiana drops to 10th.
Steph Curry is an unbelievable player.
Middleton, two-time All-Star. Again, LaMelo ahead of the pack. This time leaves it for Hayward.
Hey, look at this. No look knew exactly where Gordon Hayward was, and I put it right on the money. Holiday has just got to let him go.
Book works across the baseline, gets a switch, pulling Gobert out on the step back from the corner, raising up, cash it in from the corner. Watching Phoenix Suns basketball on Valley Sports.
Oops. So I can't really.
Just everything. Yeah, air ball, and Cantor has another board. Derrick Jones Jr. blocked by James. LeBron was right there to reject.
And then LeBron with the block on Derrick Jones and keeps it in play. That's the most impressive thing.
Hornets get it back. Here comes LaMelo Ball with his hair on fire.
Wow! Behind the back pass, yeah. I mean, if he tries to dunk that, maybe the Sixers get a hand on it. Windmilling. Oh!
Spoiler alert, LeBron James is on this list.
Rozier gonna have to put something up. Yeah!
LeBron's in the S tier.
Yeah!
Spoiler alert.
Terry Rozier! How do you know? 20-point fourth quarter. He scores the last 10 for the Hornets.
He almost dribbled that off his knee. Regains control.
Damian Lillard. 23 points in this game. Called a 10-second differential between shot and game clock. LeBron trying to work with Harold. Spins into Cantor. Jones Jr. Splats it. Zoot.
Ennis makes a lot of this happen because when LeBron's coming at him, Ennis is backing up. And LeBron takes his time to gauge Ennis and spins and tries to make contact. And while all that's going on, airplane mode is preparing to act.
To Utah.
Oh. Come on, Donovan. Oh, no, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Oh, no, he didn't.
We'll watch that all night. Wow. Broke his knees. Donovan step back three. 26-22 Utah.
YouTube TV has no hidden fees and includes unlimited DVR. Try it free.
Digs it out. Clark on the pickup. Morant off the backboard and he slams.
That's a fucking
wow. Because the defense, DeMar DeRozan takes it away. Look at this. Goes off the glass
in
to
the
himself.
NBA.
I mean, listen, there may have been some things that have not gone the Grizzlies' way, but that man right there has kept it interesting the entire night. Look at that.
Here we go. Tatum.
Very close to top 20.
Switches onto him. Tatum and Antetokounmpo, the superstar. Step back three on the way. Oh,
definitely.
it banks in.
Very close to top 20.
Jason Tatum puts Boston on top.
Taking their time, getting the best shot available. His patented move. We've seen Tatum do that. In and out left dribble, step back to the left angle.
Goodwin, the floater. Pennies from heaven. Oh my goodness! Hornets are going to get another bucket. A full-length pass to LaMelo.
Miles Bridges, the left-hander, throws a sidearm perfectly over the top of the defense, and it's usually LaMelo Ball on the passing. Miles says, hey, I'll return the favor to you, rookie. Perfect pass turn.
Metu elects not to try and post up Mannion. Step back three on the way. Foul! Count it! Let's go for four!
You make him fall? Oh, yes, he did. Oh, watch your step.
Oh, he just took Lee's ankles from him, and the bench just couldn't hold itself.
That type of joy is what it's all about.
Last night, Irving upset, didn't get the call.
I love when benches act like that.
How do
He's see Charlotte, man, they have fun.
Sees Durant coming, he's going to have resistance. Punch it through, young
how
fella.
These young kids, like, you can see how the bench acts.
Wow.
It really shows, like, where your team
Good job. Getting over the top of that
they're
screen.
pros. It's their
There's
job.
Thomas
Like, they don't have to.
Neal comes back for the big block.
It's really
And right there, JK, you showed your hand. Personal job on this play. If Brad doesn't get it, Thomas Bryant had an opportunity as well.
Doncic down to 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Doncic for the win. Oh, yeah! Luka Doncic! The dagger!
Big for his ball club.
31 for Doncic.
Team Schmeem. We got Doncic.
And the biggest shot of the night belongs to Luka. There is 0.1 on the clock.
Want to start an online store quickly with products that are ready to sell? Head over to Wix.com/dropshipping and launch your store with the industry-leading e-commerce capabilities. First, choose what kind of store you want to create. Let's pick fashion. Next, select a product.
That about covers it. Murray had an off-shooting first half. Oh, what a pass by Murray! Spectacular dish behind the back. Dylan Brooks, I was just on him tight. Still, how that got through there, and then it looked like Winslow got a hand on it late. That's going to make every highlight film you'll see tonight.
The coaches for the Nuggets, but give him credit.
Jokic had 11 in the quarter, scored 6 in the last 9. Feel a 10-3 run over the last 2.5. How about that? Broken ankle. Wow. Caught the rim, put it down. I mean, he just blew by Carter Williams.
I got a little discussion point after, here's Clarkson. He gets fouled. Watch it. His moves, spin move. Carter Williams goes down. Amazing play. He sticks out the tongue. But, I'm going to go back to the Mo Bamba, right? He had terrific minutes, and all of a sudden he's out of the game. Vucevic back in. If you're Brooklyn.
It's probably not. Doncic. Good ball fake. Show and go. Finney-Smith. Blocked at the rim. Noel put him in the friend zone with that block. Oh!
And just look, great 1-2, takes off of one, just has it all. That is a beautiful block.
That is not easy to do.
Just right above the rim. So before verticality, Jonesy, this is what big men used to have to do. Yes, you used to be able to dunk on Dikembe, used to be able to dunk.
Now Campasso around the screen. Oh, great pass. Najee for 3, and he knocks it in.
Green's going to roll. I think he's looking at Green and just right off the left ear of Kuzma. I mean, he's looking at Green, and watch this. Hubba. I tell you what.
Or delivering at the basket. 11-point fourth quarter for De'Aaron Fox.
Oh
Spin
my
cycle.
God. Who was
so
that?
much jelly that can't be jammed.
Symphony number 5, and he's doing it all, playing it big. Oh, De'Aaron Fox, I love it. He ain't boxing around tonight.
McCollum leads all scorers with 16. Leading Dallas, Luka with 12. Flipped it. Eyes in the back of his head to an open Tim Hardaway Jr. That would be what you would call an exquisite pass.
The pace, though, in the second half has been to the liking of the Los Angeles Clippers. Wow.
Zubats got blocked on the dunk. Giannis shaking his head, saying not here.
So it looks like he's loose. And you see Giannis come over and say, no, sir. Twice on the pipes here. Who's when you see a guy going with that kind of force?
Wow.
How many guys in the league willing to?
Doesn't go. Trent with it. Trent. 2 seconds. Trent drills it for the win. Gary Trent Jr.
That ball up, played right through. Check this out. He knew what he was going to do, Matty. Nobody else is going to take this shot.
In plenty of time. Number 33 for 3. And the Raptors come away with a victory. 103-101.
All right, that was a big-time effort right there, and I just love the confidence. Gary Trent Jr. knew what he had to do. He knew how much time he had to do it in. Took that ball.
Move inside by the young fella to the hoop.
Hayes, alley-oop for Stewart. Hayes has passed up a number of good looks here tonight. Whoa, what a bounce pass to Colin Sexton.
Man, bringing out all the arsenal tonight.
Bringing out all the arsenal.
Almost as good as the one Killian had the other day.
Certainly led to a hoop.
Look at that thing.
And an easy one.
Gips it off the...
30 seconds to go. Westbrook, the hesitation. Oh, the monster jam by Russell Westbrook.
I've just seen him do so much.
And the foul.
Never surprises me.
Oh my gosh.
Me.
Never surprises me.
Dip him in holy water.
So good.
Oh, man.
He was crazy.
And he wanted all the action afterwards. I mean, look at that. Oof.
That's crazy.
Oof, like.
It's time to help people customize and save.
Limu, Emu, and motherfucking Doug. Don't at me. Limu, Emu, and motherfucking Doug.
Oh my goodness.
Steph, that's not fair.
It's not
fair.
No. No one can stand it. It's too many moves.
Quarter and Mark, this one was an incredible handle.
Says, allow me to have this dance, gets them off
Steph
balance,
Curry
knocks down the long ball, and the appreciation. Mama.
Bam is pushing up on Grant. Grant drives in. Bam blocked it. What a play by Bam Adebayo. Defensive play of the night. Take a look at this block first.
Oh, that's a big-time block. Look at Bam straight up and down and then times the block. He doesn't come down too soon where it could be a foul. But here's a little controversy right here. Let's watch this block again, but we can see the Dragic play.
Tuesday. Won't be back in the short pants until Wednesday.
I'll think about it.
Miles Bridges. Oh, two-handed tomahawk.
Yeah, I can't. TOS to let this play when I'm
around
here watching it. So I'm gonna do that, do this, and might as well. Actually, it's gonna potentially be a YouTube video, so. Ooh, that sandwich hit the spot. Hey, sheesh. This will be my first YouTube video, I believe. Well, I believe this will be my first YouTube video. This is take 2 on the tier list. Last night I was fucking exhausted. Do not know why I did it last night. It was like 15 minutes. Half the players I didn't even talk about. So, retake after about 8 hours of rest. We're doing it here. We're doing it live on Twitch. Twitch.com/RonaldRage. Super professional. Let's go. Fucking destroy that like button. Fucking come on that shit. And make sure you subscribe, because I have 0 subscribers. And I haven't even made my YouTube yet. But, yes I have, because I have an account. But, let's get into it. Only like 30% retarded, they told me. Anyway. You know what? We're just going to keep that in. Not supposed to say that word anymore. Anyways. This is how I did it. Gotta love that the ads are up here because I tried downloading it. I'm not making an account on fucking tierlist.com. I'm sorry. I'm not making an account. I already have enough fucking emails from random ass websites I don't use anymore. So, fuck it. We got ads. Shout out to Xfinity. They suck, but shout out to Xfinity. Before I get started, I'm gonna kind of go over like why I have these guys here. I've been a fan of sports for many years. Massive Atlanta Falcons fan. Feel like I'm really in Atlanta. It's like people don't really give a shit about the teams typically. I mean, there are a lot of great fans for the Atlanta Falcons. It's hard not to say Atlanta Hawks because I'm doing basketball, but Falcons because I mean, Atlanta is one of those cities. I've lived here my entire life, but a lot of people move here and then move away, and people move here. We have a lot of different people that like different sports teams because they grow up in New York, they grow up in LA, they grow up, you know, wherever, Chicago, and then they move here because there's a lot of jobs, there's a lot of, you know, shit in Atlanta. Very growing city. But it's not one of those cities where like Milwaukee is a great example. When they won the NBA championship, you could tell that the entire city celebrated. When that team's doing well, the whole city is doing well. Traffic seems to go by faster. The potholes you hit aren't that big of a deal. Whereas in Atlanta, I feel like they haven't won a championship in any sports besides the Braves. And whenever we're doing well, it's like, yeah, people still get pissed the fuck off about that pothole. People still get pissed off at traffic. So you get what I'm saying. But anyways, not trying to rant too much. The reason why I say I'm such a huge Falcons fan is I've always loved sports. Always loved basketball. I've always loved the NFL. And it's just crazy how the NFL has always been this fucking like monster that everybody watches. It's either the number 1 or the number 2 league in the world. Maybe like 2 after whatever that soccer. I don't watch too much soccer, but you know the Champions League or whatever is massive. I'm not gonna take anything. But the NFL has been this monster, and then the NBA has always been a tier below. But it's crazy how you see the NBA just growing and growing and growing because of these players like Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Kawhi. People love these players, and they're so marketable. And then the NFL is just kind of still mildly growing. And you see the NBA, even with all this political shit, which, I mean, I don't necessarily, like, I mean, I agree with the message, but I just don't agree with shoving it in people's faces. People are just going to believe what they believe. I don't feel like telling somebody, if somebody believes something and they've grown up their entire life, their parents, blah, 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 people, like, just telling them shit through the TV isn't going to make a difference. That person experiencing different things in their life is what's going to change them. At least that's what changed me, is meeting new friends, seeing where they've come from, shit like that. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to rank the players. I love the NBA. These players are so talented. This is kind of my notes, super official. I work like crazy, so at least 50 hours every week. So I did this shit at work. But so I wouldn't have to, spend less time at home. Spend more time streaming instead of doing this bullshit. So the number one thing I've noticed in the NBA, with the outlier, exclusion, whatever, being this season, I think because of injuries in 2021, pandemic, and, shortened off season, I think a lot of injuries happened, and this year was a little different. Being the finals, we had two teams where their best players haven't been to an NBA Finals before. Devin Booker or Chris Paul, neither of them. Same with Kubo, never been to the. I think besides then, excuse me. Almost every year, like at least theoretically, everybody's healthy. Every year, you're gonna have your best player being a previous champion. You've seen it with LeBron James and his championships. You've seen it with Steph Curry with his championships. You see the guy right there, Kawhi Leonard, his championships. Every single year, it's just extremely important to have your best player to be a previous champion. At least what I've noticed. It just really rubs off on the team, and it's extremely important. So that's the number one thing I'm putting into my head for these players is, what have you done previously? Number two is, and number 2, 3 kind of identical. Number 3 is offense, but that can easily be number 2 because no matter how good you are defensively, it's more important that you can get buckets for your team. Because you can always have, like you see with the Hawks, their 3rd, 4th, 5th best players are extremely well have great defensive prowess, whereas the reason why is because our number 1 player is kind of a defensive liability, Trae Young, but he can give you 30, 40, 50 points any night of the day. Any night of the day, you can be like, hey, Trae, can you shoot 23s and make 50%, 40% of them? Yeah, sure. Like, that is more important than defense, at least in my opinion. This is just my, opinion on the tier list, but that offense for sure, and potential. The NBA draft, you see how important the NBA draft is, draft picks, potential. I mean, you see Trae Young, his potential. People like Luka Doncic, that potential. Even people like Devin Booker. Let me see. Like, there's a lot of people on this list that have potential. But to me, that definitely goes number 2 to, like I said, number 1, what have you done? People like LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant. Number 4, being a team player. Making your teammates around you better players. You'll see people like Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, good example, Chris Paul, Jason Tatum. These are people who make their teammates around them better. If they weren't on the team, then their teammates would play, I wouldn't say worse. Actually, yeah, they would play worse. Because you're strictly, people like Chris Paul, people like Chris Paul, when you have talent around them, you literally saw last year, even though they didn't win the championship, you saw the jump that the Suns made because they have a person like Chris Paul. He just makes people around them better. And number 5, defense. Least important thing, but it's still important. We just saw, I was watching highlights, while the stream was starting. And defense really is pretty important. Getting blocks, steals, getting a hand in the guy's face. It is important, but just not as important as offense. But anyways, let's jump into it. Rambling long enough. Number 1 has always been LeBron James to me. In my opinion, I think the MVP award is ridiculous. It's stupid. LeBron James should have like 10 MVPs by now. Maybe he would have lost it one time when Russell Westbrook was like being insane that year. But every year LeBron James is number 1, but not this year. Not 2021, and in my opinion, most likely not 2022. The best player, KD. The man is, like you saw in the playoffs, he is literally unstoppable. You can put 2 guys on him, great defense on him. It does not matter. He's great at passing, great at shooting. He's just, in my opinion, with these things, potential, what have you done, offense, team player, he is number one. A little bit blasphemy because I think of all time, like, you know, if KD was like LeBron James's age, he wouldn't be number one. But like, and I'm not saying he's an all time he's a better player than LeBron James. I would definitely put LeBron James above him in the of all time argument. But this is 2021 NBA players. The trade deadline just started. You're seeing, you know, what's going on with all these trades and all these deals getting made, free agency. He's number 2 in 2022. Number 3 is, I feel like nowadays it's pretty easy to say. Like, number 5, 6, and 7 gave me some troubles, but number 1, 2, and 3 really didn't. Kawhi Leonard, he is just, I didn't really, like, realize how good he was until he won that championship with the Raptors. You really see how good he is defensively, obviously, but god dang, this guy has a jumper. Like, he is just all around a great player. So Kawhi Leonard, number 3. Number 4, the man who just won MVP, man who just won a championship. What have you done? Now he has done essentially everything. Giannis, it's so crazy to see how he was when he came into the league versus now. I mean, who's to say he's not just going to keep getting better and better and better? He's young. I mean, he just signed that big max deal. I probably would have put him at 7 or 8 before this season, like this time last year. But now, I mean, like, because what happened in the playoffs last year. But this year, he really showed me, really proved to the world that he is a top 5 player. No doubt about it. Now, here is something I am not sure about. At number 5, is it Luka Doncic or Steph Curry? Luka Doncic or Steph Curry? Luka or Steph? God, I mean, I put Luka at 5 originally because he is insanely good. But I'm going to put Steph Curry at 5, actually. You see, there's a reason why, like, when you have these great players, why would your coach just quit his job? You know, or, like, leave? You know, why you know, it's a little rough. So I'm going to go ahead and actually put Luka at 6 because he is fucking insane. But Steph Curry, I mean, you can't deny this man straight up made the NBA a worldwide brand. Gave all these kids, like, hope. Be like, oh, if I practice nonstop, I can be an NBA player. This guy's shot is insane. His offense is insane. He is just an all-out beast of a player. And it's not just his shooting, it's his passing, it's his dribbles, it's everything. I mean, sure, he is a little bit of a defensive liability, but as I said at the beginning of this video, offense is so much more important than defense. Same thing with Luka. The man is ridiculously offensive. I mean, most of these players are very similar as they have an offensive prowess. They're pretty good defensively. And they could easily win a champion. They can, like, that's the thing about these top 5 players, and even Luka is. But you know what? I'm kind of glad I put Luka at 6 because all 5 of these players can easily win a championship and be the best player on their team. Whereas Luka, I don't really see him, like, winning a championship. Like, Brooklyn and LA are probably the favorites, but we can easily say that the Clippers, the Bucks, or the Warriors could win the championship next year. Like, that's definitely can happen. Whereas the the Mavericks? Even let's say they get Damian Lillard or something. You know, it's like, let's say they get a great player in free agency. I still don't see them winning the championship. Honestly, I mean, it could happen, but I switched that up. I did have Luka and then Steph Curry originally, but I'm gonna change it up. Live here on Twitch. And then next, AD. The first player on here where he's a traditional big man. Giannis, of course, is a big guy too. But AD is just like... What I mean, he really doesn't have a comparison. Like, sure, you can say Olajuwon or... I don't know. He doesn't really... Because he's so good. He has a three-point... Like, he's just like... What do they call him? Like a unicorn? Like the guy who can do anything. He's great at defense. He's great. Like he could shoot a three at, what is he, like 7 feet tall? He could shoot a three. So AD, such a good player. Such a good player. The reason why I put LeBron James so high is just, like I said, at the number 2. That's potential, sorry. Number 4. Team player makes around them better. People around them better. LeBron James, way more so than AD. Like, you saw AD in New Orleans, fantastic player, but never even came close to, winning a championship. Whereas now that he has that help of LeBron James, you see him really shine. But that's just why he's not top 5, in my opinion. He's definitely top 10, but not top 5. Number 9. Did I mention you guys? I'm an Atlanta Hawks fan. Did I mention that to you? Oh, shit, and actually... he's number 9. Number 8 is James Harden. Because I'm not about to say Trae Young's better than James Harden. I'm sorry. I mean, James Harden, he's always been kind of a very good player. Like I said, the MVP. In my opinion, LeBron James deserved the MVPs over him. It's just like a popularity contest. If you have 2 to 3 MVPs, you've seen it too. If you have 2+ MVPs like already, they're not going to give it to you unless you average like 35 points. They're just not going to give it to you. Even if you play better, even if your team's better, they're going to give it to somebody else because they want they want to spread it around. Do not like that award. I don't know why the NBA. Well, actually, you know why is because people vote on it. It's like the media votes on it. So the media voting for it, it's going to be boring if LeBron James wins it every year. Whereas if somebody else wins it, the media can talk about it. So I'm not going to rant too much about that, but Harden, I feel like where he is at in his career now, he's always been kind of improving. I feel like he is like at his peak right now. Like everything in his arsenal, everything he's been working on, I feel is complete. Like all that practice you put in, all these hours of work you put in to become great, I feel like he's there now. So definitely a top 10 player. Whereas like Trae Young, he's not there yet. And maybe he has more potential, but he's just not there yet. But Trae Young, I mean, he just proved it to us last season. Don't give him shit don't put him on a team of just like players where you're trying to get lottery picks. The man is an absolute beast. Like right when we got even decent players like Clint Capela, it's just like the man like just goes off and almost makes it to the finals. I mean, Eastern Conference. Who thought the Hawks were going to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals? Nobody, not even myself. But Trae Young just showed us, oh yeah, I can average 30+ points. Average 30+ points in the playoffs. And that's the thing, in the playoffs, that's where I feel like your playoff performance is what makes you a great player, because everybody's trying their hardest. Everybody's trying to win. Whereas in the regular season, maybe it's like you're obviously trying to win because you don't make it to the playoffs unless you have a good winning record. But it's like 72 games or whatever. So if you lose a game, it's not that big of a deal. Whereas in the playoffs, if you lose a game, it's a huge deal. You saw in the finals how it's like the Suns, when they lost Game 6, it was like, even though they had another game to play, it was like just that one loss lost the entire finals for you. Or maybe it was Game 5. I don't remember. The last time they played at home, I think it was Game 6. It was just like you saw how important it was. And you saw however good you play in the playoffs, that's what makes you, on this list. Shout out to 1 viewers. Number 10 is going to be Joel Embiid. I gotta admit, I don't watch too much Philly games. I watch a lot of Brooklyn this year. I'll just watch LA. LA for the last couple years, ever since, because I am definitely a LeBron James fan, so I love watching him play. Watch a decent amount of Clippers. Watch a decent amount of Milwaukee. Because Atlanta played them. Whereas, don't watch too much of Philly. Even though Atlanta played Philly, I didn't really watch too much of that series because, number one, I thought Atlanta was going to straight up lose. It was a 1 seed versus, I think, a 5 seed. And, I didn't even think they had a chance. Whereas when you see the highlights, they just mop the floor. I think Joel Embiid was a little injured in that series. And that's why I give him benefit of the doubt, still have him a top 10 player, because I cannot lie. I mean, I've seen his stats. I've seen his, how he plays, and he is a fantastic player. You see he loves the game. You see how upset he gets when he loses. You see how happy he is when he wins. Love him as a player. Just love him as a player. Extremely marketable, great personality. Love Joel Embiid. Definitely got to put him in the top 10. Number 11. The Joker. You saw him in those highlights. Man is a beast. I mean, I'm not going to say too much about him because just like Joel Embiid, I haven't really watched too much of him because the Nuggets just aren't a team that I really care too much about. But you saw their record. It was I think they were second. The Jazz were first. They were second. He best player on a great team. But as you saw in the playoffs, he was perfectly healthy, unlike a lot of these players. And they still couldn't get it done. So that's why he's not top 10, but very close. Here's somebody at 12 who I am a massive fan of. Damian Lillard. Boy, I hope and pray. I'm hoping and I'm praying. If there's some crazy way, trade two first-round picks, I don't care. If there's some way Atlanta can get him to play with Trae Young, God damn, that's a good good combo. I don't think it's going to happen, but Damian Lillard, holy crap, is he a great player. Offensively, fantastic. Just like Trae Young, can shoot it from anywhere. Just like Trae Young, a little bit of a defensive liability, but it's like Atlanta, I feel like, is a perfect fit for him because you have those two players, just Trae Young and Damian Lillard as your offensive powerhouse. I don't know too much about basketball, but they're like the forwards, I guess. I think, or guards. They're the guards, sorry. And then you have Clint Capela, John Collins, and I forget his name, but the guy they drafted from Virginia. All three of them are fantastic at defense, and they can hold it down. So, I don't think it's going to happen, but Atlanta, please try and get him. And no matter where Dame's going to end up, I don't think he's going to be in... where is he in Portland? I don't think he's going to be there for too much longer. Literally, the free agency just started today. I think he'll be out of there in the next week. But no matter, even if he stays, he's still going to be a great player. You've seen him straight up by himself knock off the OKC Thunder with that great shot. Bye-bye, go home. The man is a fucking beast. He's proved it. I mean, he hasn't won a championship, but I feel like most of these players, I feel like Chris Paul, other players, used to be AD, not anymore, but I mean, obviously top 5, they're all champions, but even some of these players, they could have played better, whereas I feel like Damian Lillard in his past, he played perfectly fine. It is not his fault that they lost those playoff series, the ones that he did lose. Number 13. Book. I feel like when I did watch him, I saw him miss a lot of shots in the finals, but you cannot deny the man is a beast. He is insanely good. Offensive prowess, just all around. The guy is a great player. But you know what? I might do another switcheroo here because I got Jason Tatum up next. But in my opinion, with potential and all that, I mean, Booker has great potential, but I feel like Jason Tatum is so underrated. You saw him in the playoffs, even though they lost. The man put up 50 points. I mean, he's just a freaking boss. And he's played with with Danny Ainge. You see, I mean, he's a great GM, but I mean, he's played like Jason Tatum has played with all these different teams. You know, you got your what was it, Kyrie Irving era, you got Gordon Hayward, you have all these different players. And even though he's still a beast, and in my opinion, like potential being number 2 on like a big outlier on this list, moreover than Devin Booker and even a lot of these other players, Jason Tatum could definitely be a top 5 player. He can definitely be the best player on a championship team. I just feel like you need to put that right cast around him. And he's not fully developed yet, but like I said, I think he could definitely be a top 5 player in the next couple of years. So, you know what? I'm going to switch up another game. Devin Booker was ahead of him. I want to put Jason Tatum. Number 13, Devin Booker. Number 14. Number 15, no switcheroos here, Chris Paul. Today, he just signed like a $140 million contract. I feel like that's a bad contract, but you got to do it. What is he going to be, like 39 when the contract is over? But, I mean, he just proved it last season. His worth, what is this? Team player makes others around him better. You just saw him. Like, I feel like when he played in OKC, when he played in Houston, he had talented people around him, but he didn't just have that raw talent like with Devin Booker and Ayton, these players. Whereas, like with Houston, you know, Harden, like he's already a complete player. Like you're not gonna like be like, hey, you know, Chris Paul and Harden, like they're kind of their own guys. Whereas you saw with the Suns, and look, they're both together in the top 15. Like he really, really made that team almost a championship team, but at least a finals team. That team wasn't even close to making the finals 2 years ago. But just the addition of one player, and also the the improvement of your talent that you've already got. Chris Paul, number 15, definitely top 15 player, no doubt in my mind. Number 16, Karl Anthony Towns. Now that we're on this bottom row, it's like I feel like Karl Anthony Towns won't ever be like the best player on a championship team, but he's still all around a great player. Great at defense, great at offense. He's kind of like AD, but just not as good. But he's very close and a very good player. Played with him a lot in 2K because I had my player. I started him out as in Atlanta, and then I moved him to the Timberwolves. But anyways, number 17, reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert. Defense is very important. These two are kind of interchangeable in my opinion, but I just feel like Karl Anthony Towns and just in general offense is more important than defense in the NBA. But definitely definitely Rudy Gobert, top 20 player for sure. Rudy Gobert player at number 17. Number 18, Paul George. Paul George, I feel like proved to me this last postseason. He just proved exactly the kind of player that I thought he was. Just good, you know, top 20. He is definitely like. Put it this way, Kawhi was injured, right? If Paul George was injured and Kawhi was perfectly healthy in that series, they would have for sure won that series. And in my opinion, actually, they probably would have won the championship. But that didn't happen. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. That didn't happen. So who cares? Why am I saying this? Is Paul George, like, maybe people are going to be like, oh, no, he's top 10. No, he scored 40, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, but he's very inconsistent. And I feel like you look at these top 5, even these top 10 players, they are incredibly consistent. They're always going to put up the points. They're always going to play a good game. Maybe they'll have like one-off night, like James Harden, Trae Young, maybe. You know, like Steph Curry, like they might have like one-off game, but they're going to all around average like 30 points, like always. Like you see every single one of these players can average 30 points in the playoff. Whereas Paul George, like, he can get you 30, but, you know, he's not going to average 30 points. But, yeah, right there at 18, Paul George, like, that's totally fine with me. 19, Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler, great great team player, great all-around player, defense, offense, all that. In my opinion, Paul George, like, I'm giving him a lot of respect putting him ahead of Jimmy Butler because of how good I think Jimmy Butler is. You see the Heat. I think they just signed, he's even on here, Kyle Lowry. They just signed Kyle Lowry, so I feel like the Heat will be a very good team next year. I like that the Eastern Conference is just not a shitty conference anymore. Jimmy Butler, great player, number 19. And number 20, Clint Capela. Where you at? Clint Capela. Where you at? Motherfucking tier list ain't got Clint Capela on this year. It might be a little biased because I'm an Atlanta Hawks fan, but I mean, the guy led the NBA in rebounds. I feel like rebounds are pretty important. Great defensive player. Kind of like just that acquisition from the Rockets. Like, you saw how much better that made the Hawks and how much worse Houston got. Like, what? Houston, I think they had the worst record in the entire NBA. Like, sure, they lost Harden as well. Like, that's a huge loss. But, yeah, Clint Capela, I feel like he's like the 20th. He's top 20. He's 20th best player in the NBA. But since he's not on this list, I'll put Westbrook up there. Russell Westbrook, he's going to be the third best. He's going to be the third best player on that team. That team is going to be fucking insane. I really hope everybody stays healthy. I mean, it never happens, but I really hope everybody on Brooklyn and everybody on LA Lakers stays healthy, because that'll be a fantastic finals. KD against LeBron, Kyrie against Westbrook, Harden, AD. That's a weird matchup. It's not good. They're not even going to match up again. But anyways, that's going to be a great finals if it happens. But that's the beautiful thing about the NBA. You never know what's going to happen. Milwaukee can make it back. The Hawks could win the championship. Probably not. But I mean, you never know what could happen. The Heat can make it to the finals, But if that is a finals matchup, even in the regular season, those games are going to be fucking awesome. And I'm actually going to, I did this last night, and I feel like it's a good idea. I put my top 20, and this is 21 because Clint Capela's on there, players, but I'm actually going to round out this list, and because I feel like there's some great players down here that deserve to be. So I'm actually going to do top 25 players. So we're going to do Ben Simmons. Like Clint Capela, okay. LaMelo fucking balls on here, and you're not going to put Clint Capela on here? Like, I'm sure, I mean, the guy has potential, but dude. Come on. Fucking LaMelo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Gordon Hayward, and you're not, I mean, come on. Shout out to Gordon Hayward, though. He plays StarCraft. StarCraft's my favorite game of all time. Bradley Beal. Zion. I want to put Mitchell above Zion, actually. And one more player. And trust me, I see Kyrie up there. Kyrie's talent is very, 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 very good. But we've seen in the past how he has negatively affected his team due to other reasons, so... I might actually... Nah, John Morant. It's either Kyrie or John Morant, though. Because, like I said, Kyrie's still... Yeah, I'm going to put Kyrie up there. Because Kyrie's still fucking insanely talented. So, even though I feel like he's a distraction at times, many times, and that's why I feel like that is actually more important than some people think. Because it's like... Sure, it hasn't happened like this yet, but what if it's the playoffs? And the guy just outright says, "Oh, I feel like I shouldn't play because of this, that, and the other." Like, so I mean, sometimes it's important. Like you saw the Bucks when they set out that playoff game. Like I felt like that was a great thing to do, and I'm not saying it's unwarranted, but like sometimes Kyrie, it's like you feel like you're doing something right. You ever do something like you feel like you're doing something right, but then you look back on it and you're like, oh wait, I screwed over my whole team, and maybe it was like the right thing to do, but it wasn't the right thing to do. Like, I can definitely see Kyrie doing that. I mean, he probably won't, but what happens if they make it to the playoffs, they make it to the finals, and then all of a sudden they have their whole, what they've been practicing for the past year, these teams and coaches, they practice and practice and practice for those, whatever it is, 60 minutes or 45 minutes or whatever, that like, it's so important. That one game is so important, and you've seen him just sit out for weird reasons. So I'm actually going to put Ja Morant right after Kyrie. But there's my top 26 players tier list. It's not even really a tier list. It's really just top 5 to 11. Or, sorry, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, 16 to 26. There she blows. Did this live on Twitch, but I'm going to put this on YouTube. So, I mean, I feel like not many people are going to watch this, but this is just kind of making content because I enjoy doing it. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely feel free to tell me Trae Young should not even be on this list or whatever, or Clint Capela, what the fuck are you talking about? All these players are better than Clint Capela, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, like I said, it's just my opinion. And if you see this video, feel free to give it a like, dislike, whatever you want. But thanks, most importantly, thanks for watching. That's what that's why I'm really doing this, is just give people content to watch. And I have fun making it at the same time. So, thanks for watching. See ya.